Hello, hey, this is Chris Rice. I got first place undefeated at the most recent St. Louis Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional. Got the mat, got the deck box, and let's go into the deck that we got it with. So we are playing, unsurprisingly, the best deck for the tournament, pure Kashtira. Okay, and then let's go into the deck. Played pure Kashtira because I thought it was the best deck for the format and for the event. We have 3 Unicorn, 3 Fenrir, 2 Rise Heart, and 1 Scareclaw Kashtira. So I played this lineup because one of my main problems with the deck was bricking where you had no Kashtira monster, and you'd brick on Kashtira spells. Even drawing just a level 4 guy allows you to make some simple plays so you don't pass on nothing. The only true brick in here would be a Scareclaw Kashtira, but it's too powerful to not play. For hand traps, we played 3 Ash, 3 Droll, and 3 D-Shifter. These are the best hand traps in the format. This is for Branded, this is for Super Heavy Samurai, and this is for every deck. None of these hand traps are extremely powerful in the mirror match, and so that is a little bit of a concession. That if you play a lot of mirror matches, these cards are not going to be optimal, but they do all have some role. Shifter protecting you from Droll and Veiler. Droll hits the mirror slightly, and Ash can hit the mirror slightly, but then after game 1, you're going to sign those out. Played Kashtira Big Bang. No preparations, that card is too slow. We got Terraforming and 3 field spells. Best card in the deck. 3 Birth and 3 Theosis. Birth, incredible card. Usually I'm searching for Birth and trying to go into a little bit of a grindier game than rather go for Theosis to just lose to an Ash Blossom. But Theosis is very powerful, even though it is also the source of probably your brick hands when you open a couple of those and you don't have a cash monster. For consistency, we got 2 Desires, and 3 Prosperity. Good cards, good cards. Even managed to win a couple games where I opened 2 Prosperity and a Desires, and there was a game where I opened both Desires and a Prosperity. Luckily, I was able to play into Desires, got Ashed, and then activate Prosperity afterwards in one of those games. So that felt nice. And then non-engine spells, we played 3 Book of Moon and 3 Triple Tactics Talents. I thought these were the best choices. I didn't want to play Thrust because Droll is really popular, and you're not running cards that are that powerful to set. You always want to be looking for a card, and so after you've gotten hand trapped, going into Talent to look at their hand and put something away, it was really good all day. And Book of Moon is just auto-win versus the mirror match. Also came up against Super Heavy Samurai and Pearly, flipping their guy face down, against Sword Soul, flipping their guy face down. And then going second, you can take this card out for something that's a little bit more matchup specific. Because a lot of the decks are running so many hand traps for the end of the format because of Super Heavy Samurai, that if they hand trap you once or twice and then you talents them and put a card back, that usually that one card you put back was their only real play that they would have on your follow-up. So just having like Fenrir could stop their whole turn after that point. Going into the extra deck, we got 2 Shangira, followed up by double or Rise Heart. So I know a lot of people have been running 3 of this, but I only had 3 of it come up maybe once in my testing, and I just thought I'd rather have space for things that are a little bit more situational, because double Rise Heart covers about 99% of the matchups. Then we have double Zeus, amazing card. Got into a couple Zeus wars in the mirror matches, thanks to talents. We have Barone. Good card. I made it one time when I drew Ash Blossom on my first turn, and my opponent did have Nib in the hand, so it was actually the right play. Donner. I don't think I made this card a single time, but it does job for getting banished off Prosperity. Big Eye, Dark Armed, Draco Sack, and Diablosis. So Diablosis, absolutely insane. This card going to 0 is a big hit to this deck, honestly, because there was a lot of games where this was what won the game, just by getting lucky, hitting the right cards off the top of the deck. Draco Sack, amazing card. Really happy I played it. Was able to hit multiple floodgates throughout the day. There can be only one. Goes in match. Skill drain multiple times. People citing in those cards, even in non-control decks, people were citing in those cards when they went first against me. So Draco Sack came up several times. Dark Armed, this card only came up one time in the final match to do a double Dimension Shifter play. And Big Eye, this came up twice, but one of those times was great. Allowed me to take my opponent to Rise Heart and make a Zeus with 7 or 8 materials underneath. And then to finish out, we have prosperity targets. So Infinitrack, Garua, and Entis. Now these were Infinitrack was the go-to automatic put under. Then depending on the matchup, I would go for Garua or Entis next. I decided to go with these instead of the Fossil Knights because I wanted to be able to have immediate follow-up. Like if my opponent talents or Book of Moons, my Rise Heart, and then it leaves the board, I want to immediately be able to draw or pop to survive that turn. Because a lot of times the Fossil Knights are going to fall off, they're going to go to the grave, but then you're going to be not getting another turn, so it's too late to use them. For the side, starting off, going second, we got 2 Kumungus. Chose this one because it's level 7 and it had the least amount of attack points. It came up a couple times. I did normal summon it once to try to do combo, but I got hand trapped, and so I ended up just attacking them with Fenrir and with Kumungus for game. Then we had kind of the same kind of category. We had 3 Curry Cars. So these were my go-to to side in versus the mirror, and also side in versus other like build a board decks like Super Heavy Samurai. And for spells, going second, we have 1 Harpies and 3 Lightning Storm. So funny enough, I mean, this was going to be 2 Lightning Storm until the very last minute, and then I saw, the ban list was taking it down to 2, and I figured, hey, might as well just play the 3rd one while we can. I didn't really have anything else to put in. It was going to be some random one of, and I figured, nah, I'd just rather have 3 Lightning Storm because there's going to be a lot of back row decks at the regional. There was a lot of back row decks at the regional, but I only drew Lightning Storm 1 time, and it was negated by my opponent, so it was pointless. Still, would have been good if I'd drawn it more. Then we have 3 Go Spell. This is for going second against Math Mech, Dragon Link, and sometimes against Labyrinth. I only put that in going first, usually against Labyrinth. I'd rather just have Lightning Storms when I'm going against them. Good card. I think I only used it against, I only drew it and resolved it against a Dragon Link player to stop some Bestial plays, but it was good. I also like its level 3 tuner, that if you dead draw it, you can make Baron with. And lastly, my only going first card was 3 There Can Be Only One. I thought this is the most powerful Floodgate. I know I've seen people running Summon Limit, but Summon Limit is always just a little bit too slow, especially in a meta with a lot of people having Fenrir in their deck, whether it's Sprite or Kashtira or other rogue decks that are just teching in Fenrirs. They're going to be able to destroy the Summon Limit. They're going to be able to go into plays main phase 2, things like that. There Can Be Only One just stops the play from happening. The only matchup where this is bad is pretty much against Branded. The mirror matches is not very strong, but it is strong enough, especially when they do not expect it. Obviously, when the mirror match, they're going to make you go first, so I put these in, and it did come up. You wait for your opponent to use their Theosis, have them bring out their Unicorn or their Fenrir, whichever one they started with, flip it up. Then they have to go into a pretty awkward play to continue, and it makes a Rise Heart very hard to out. You can put up a Rise Heart pass backed up by There Can Be Only One. That's going to take out. It's going to win 95% of your games. As long as they didn't draw the Harpy's Feather Duster, because I know a lot of people side that in against Kashtira, which is smart. So matchups, I played 3 Kashtira, 3 Super Heavy Samurai, 1 Elemental Hero, 1 Guru Control. Yeah, strange matchup. Shout out to Kyle. It's a fun deck to play against. So undefeated, I've only dropped 1 game, and that was to the Guru deck. Turns out, you lose a die roll. It can be pretty hard to overcome 3 or 4 continuous Floodgates and a Red Eyes Dragoon. So yeah, other than that, I did not play against any Branded. That's okay. I think it's a fairly easy matchup for this deck. As long as you do not get Gimmick Puppet locked, you're fine. Thoughts on the next format? I think the Kashtira will still be really strong, but I'm not sure it's going to be the best deck like it was for this event. The consistency of the deck is not incredible, and even just losing 1 Unicorn, really, that drags you down another few percentage points. That's another couple games lost in 8 rounds. It's another couple games lost in Top Cut. So it just gets tougher. You're going to brick more often. You're going to pass on nothing more often, while I think other decks are going to be able to be just as consistent as they were. But even one Rise Heart, that demands answers. That's going to still warp the format. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of like where we go from here. I think we could see Cash going as kind of like a tier 2 deck that is able to very easily defeat the tier 1 decks, because if they take too many of their answers out for a Rise Heart, then a Rise Heart auto wins the matchup. But by playing those answers, they make their matchups for other decks worse. And so the format's going to be caught in kind of this kind of back and forth. and we don't have much time before Nats, so hopefully we can get some more good testing in to figure out the answer. Shout out to the boys in the group chat. Tears every night. Lots of good testing. Shout out to Mystic TCG and the Collector Store. Great locals in the St. Louis area. Collector Store put on the regional. They did a good job. Ran very smoothly. Ran very quickly. Even with the lunch break, we were done. Maybe only 10 or 15 minutes over at most with a round. It went pretty well, and most of the players were being very nice and respectful to each other, which has not always been the case. Hopefully we see a lot of good people at Nats. Hopefully have a lot of friends, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to try to figure out something to go ahead and get our first top cut at Nats this year. Shout out to the Wiseguys. Check it out on Facebook. Shout out to everybody in St. Louis at the locals that play at. Good testing and some good guys. And I think we've been having a good time. We didn't have as much success at the regional as I would have liked, but we'll get them next time. And maybe we'll see where we go from here.